Hey guys, Augie here and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and in this video I'm going to share with you guys my rogue build that focuses around penetrating shot. It's the closest thing I could do to making like a multi-shot kind of a DH from D3, as that used to be my main class and I really miss having a full-on DH like range character to play. But as you can see in the background, this actually does quite a bit of damage. It does good AoE clear, the single target is not bad at all, and it only really needs one legendary aspect on screen now that needed to boost the penetrating shot, just to send out more shots and then just clear out the map a whole lot faster, as it does kind of like ricochet off everything and bounce back and do a lot of damage. But before we get into the build, if you guys go ahead and smash the sub and like button, it helps me out so much and I appreciate every single one of you beautiful people. Without further ado, let's hop into the build now, shall we? So first things first, let me show you guys the ability points. Now the primary skills on Rogue, well, the basic skills, the generators, I don't really like any of them, but this one over here, Puncture, is the only real one that can provide us with Vulnerable. As we all know, Vulnerable is really useful as it makes enemies take 20% more damage, so that is why we do go down Puncture, as well as Enhanced Puncture gives you energy, and energy means you can actually use your penetrating shot. So we go with that because lack of a better option. I really wish I could have had like full bow, but maybe later on we can figure out a build with Heartseeker. So we go down there. And then we come on down and obviously we pick up penetrating shot. You want to max this out as soon as you can, but early on you might want to just leave some points open so you can go further down, as it just really boosts the damage once you max it out. But do come back and max it out later on. So we grab penetrating shot, enhance penetrating shot, and improve penetrating shot, just to increase the crit damage of it and deals increased damage for enemies it pierces. So with the legendary effect, it's going to pierce a bunch and it's going to do more damage as well. Come on down, we pick up dash just for mobility. I don't really worry too much about that because I don't plan on dashing through enemies. This is mainly focused on a range build, so I'm using dash just as mobility. And then Caltrops over here is actually really nice for the build, and then we can use it there. The enemies take increased damage for every second they are in Caltrops, and you have a 5% critical strike chance against enemies inside your Caltrops, doubled if they are vulnerable, and they should always be vulnerable because of this bad boy there, Puncture. So that's what I pick up there. And then 3 points in Weapon Mastery, because it increases your damage to vulnerable enemies when you're using a bow, which is what you will be using, or a crossbow. Both of those are good as well, but you should try and get your aspect on a bow, because you want to be using a bow for the 12% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. And then we move on down, we pick up one thing in Dark Shroud. We go Enhanced Dark Shroud and Subverting Dark Shroud, just to give you a little bit of movement speed. And this is like your only real tankiness to the build. You're really squishy with this build, so you got to be careful how you play it. And we pick up 1 point in Exploit and 2 points in Malice. I would like to max that out if I had some free skill points, but later on we could do that. Moving on, we go ahead and pick up Shadow Imbuement with Enhanced Shadow Imbuement and Blended Shadow Imbuement, just to spread that vulnerable even more with the explosions all over the place, because this all focuses really on vulnerable damage, and we don't pick up a ultimate ability at all in this build. So that is how I've spent my points. Really good, really strong build. I feel like it could be a lot stronger if I actually get some armor pieces with better things on them, but all my armor pieces are pretty average. So this is the only real mandatory armor piece you need. Well, legendary aspect that you need. As you see there, penetrating shot damages an enemy. 2 additional arrows split off to either side. These side arrows deal 68% of penetrating shots base damage and do not split. So that kind of does split. Like if there's a bunch of enemies and there's elite in the middle, it's just gonna, you've seen before in the video, it like explodes and kills everything. It's really fun to play around with. And then the reason why my damage looks so high is mainly because of this. When I stand still, I deal increased damage, but we actually end up moving quite a lot in this build, so it doesn't really take full effect of that. But there is no cooldown on this, so as soon as you stop moving, so even if I stop moving for 1 second there, it starts like building up straight away. So you will, quite often you'll stop and then you'll just, you know, you got to do your shot over there, but you got to do your combo where you kind of like, you build up your 3 combo points and then you chuck out your Caltrops, because that will like throw you backwards, it will slow them, make them take more damage, and then you hit them with penetrating shot. The unfortunate thing is when you do Caltrops, it's going to actually make you move, so then your penetrating shot won't benefit from that thing over there. Like I said, the only real armor piece aspect that I have going for me is this one. Everything else doesn't really do much for me right now because I haven't actually found much. That's defense, skills deal increased damage on resource. That could help a little bit, but our resource is not always full anyway. We just usually get enough to cast our penetrating shot with our combo points as well. That's another thing you want to try and get, is you want to try and get 3 combo points before you use penetrating shot. So like the best wombo combo, so to say, is you would left click 3 times with puncture, and then obviously you want to try and keep dark shot up as much as you can, and then once you have your 3 combos and there's an elite in front of you or pack in front of you, you want to hit caltrops, and while you're flying backwards you hit shadow imbuement, and then you're penetrating shot, and then you do 3 more punctures and another penetrating shot, because that will hit both of your penetrating shots with imbuement and full combo as well. If you don't actually like managing the combo, you could just change over to inner sight so you gain unlimited energy, but since the build doesn't really hit one target too much, it kind of just blows everything up, and then the big target you kind of blow up too. I prefer to go with the combo points as it increases the damage on your penetrating shot. As you can see there, the combo points increase damage and improve lucky hit chance, so the damage does go up quite a lot and increases the hit chance by 30%. So a nice thing overall, especially later on once we get more effects and things with lucky hit chance. I'm sure that will stack up a lot higher using the combo thing. It's a little bit annoying to manage sometimes. You don't always have to hit with all 3 combo points, so you could just do the first penetrating shot with your shadow imbuement with all 3 points, and the next one, if the enemy's almost dead, instead of building it all up, you might as well just throw it out anyway. You see me quite often, I just shoot even without having the full combo points, but that is the highest theoretical damage. Body combo, and then bam, hit it with a penetrating shot that is imbued. So that's all I can really think of with this build. There's a lot of aspects that I wish I did have. I just don't have any of them yet. So we will be later on, once we get to the full launch of D4, I'm actually going to make a build, proper builds for all the classes. So if you guys are interested in seeing all of that, you should definitely subscribe to the channel and like this video to help me get out there. Appreciate every single one of you beautiful people, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Augie saying out.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the